Good evening, everyone. Bonsoir à tous et toutes. My name's Jill Deacon. I'm really thrilled to be here with you tonight, celebrating poetry in voice. I am the host of Here and Now on CBC Radio on your weekday afternoons. I hope I can keep you company if I'm not already in your afternoons from 3 to 6 on your radio. We had some fun celebrating poetry this afternoon on the program in anticipation of tonight. Coming to this event, being asked to be part of this event, of course, made me think about my own connection with poetry when I was younger. And I'm rewinding a little further back than the age of our participants tonight, but I remembered a poem that I wrote, and when I think I was in kindergarten. Would you like to hear it? I feel you would. All right, it goes like this. Pussy willows, soft and gray, growing taller every day. Some grow here, some grow there. Why, they are growing everywhere. So, well, that's what I thought. But you know what happened? I got in trouble for that poem from my teacher because she thought I copied it. She didn't believe I'd made it up myself. So that turned me off poetry for a while. I have been told the story of one other foray into creating my own poetry, a different kind of expression than we're going to see on the stage tonight. My parents had guests over, and I had been sent upstairs when I thought all the fun was going on, and I was sent upstairs to bed, and I did not feel that was right. So I sent a missive, a very angry missive, down the stairs in the form of a paper airplane into the living room, which was, I am told, and this one I can't recite for you because I don't remember it, but I am told that it was in rhyming couplets. And instead of having the desired effect of making everybody quake at my outrage, I was quite upset to hear everybody chuckling and laughing and cooing over my poetic diatribe against them. So that's my, starting point, I guess, for poetry. But tonight we are advancing to a much more impressive place and celebrating young people who've been working hard, people from all across the country who've been working really hard to bring you some pretty extraordinary performances tonight. Nous allons écouter de la poésie classique ce soir et contemporaine en français et en anglais. Le concours comporte 3 sections de prix. Française, anglaise et bilingue. Il y aura donc un lauréat ou une lauréate dans chacune des sections. We're going to hear contemporary and classic poetry in English and French. There are 3 competition streams tonight, English, French, and bilingual. We'll be crowning a champion in each. Before we begin the contest proper, though, I want to tell you what an exciting year it's been for Poetry and Voice and Les Voix de la Poésie, because their new partnership with the Canada Council for the Arts. They're now working with a network of over 70 poets across the country who've been judging recitation contests, adding resources to the website, working with students in over 200 classrooms. Poets have visited schools in Sudbury, Farnham, Regina, Saint-Hyacinthe, Qualicum Beach, Selkirk. Instead of telling you about all those visits, we're going to give you a quick taste of this year's Poet in Your Class, Poète à l'école program. Have a look. impressive, right? To see that peek into all those classrooms right across the country. Poetry and Voice is also partnered with the prize section of Canada Council. Richard Harrison won the 2017 Governor-General's Literary Award for poetry for his book on not losing my father's ashes in the flood. And Richard couldn't attend tonight, but hopefully he's watching through the live stream. What better tribute to a man who has written about his father's love of poetry recitation than a recitation of one of Richard's poems. So please join me and welcome to the stage the 2016 Poetry and Voice English champion, Enzo Campa.
With the Dying of the Light by Richard Harrison. I recited to him, now as I was young and easy, and in the cough-afflicted wheeze that was left of my father's voice, he answered under the apple boughs. And so it went between us, in the days I waited for him to recover, the way hope pillows its sails with nothing, or falter, fade, and pass away. You haven't heard. Time held me green and dying, though I sang in my chains like the sea, until you've heard it from the wizened mouth of a man living in the not knowing when before his death. This is the reply to the poet who longs for the old man to rage at the night and heed his child's plea. Don't go! My father's was the soft song of sickened lungs, lips that lost the taste for even one more swallow, while I waited with him in the light that faded as it drew close. I saw him in the doorway, silent as a mummy, hands clasped together like power shovels, tipped into the posture of the day's last work, the crew gone home for the night. Once he waved after days of Shakespeare and Dickens, the anthem of literature he'd been taught to love as his country himself, through which he spoke best the savage and gentle contradictions of his heart. I'd said, I love you, and he'd said, I love you too, without the artifice of poetry. And he waved when I moved from the bed, the way a boat pushed by a hand gone still at the dock carries yet its force across the water. It is here, now, what that hand held when it held itself up. The lull before the poem begins. The surrender when it's done.
Bravo. Bravo, thank you. Enzo, what a great way to start things off. Nous sommes ravis que Louise Dupré, gagnante du prix littéraire du gouverneur général 2017 en poésie, soit ici avec nous ce soir. Louise Dupré a remporté le prix pour son livre La main hantée. Louise, je vous demanderai de vous lever pour que tout le monde vous voie, s'il vous plaît. Je vous présente Louise Dupré. Nous souhaitons vous honorer, vous et votre œuvre, ce soir. Accueillons sur scène la championne bilingue 2016 des voix de la poésie, Marie Foulchamp.
Ton territoire s'est construit par Louise Dupré. Ton territoire s'est construit malgré toi sur une plaie à ciel ouvert. Il inquiète les jours et leurs ailes, les nuits et leurs ailes. C'est sans repos où tu habites, un guet permanent. Tu voudrais délivrer du mal tous les oiseaux. Tu attaches des clochettes au cou des chats et tu te promènes, la tête dans la grisaille des nuages, en rêvant que ton geste ridicule puisse empêcher la ville de sombrer. Tu ne sauveras que quelques passereaux, mais tu agis. Tu oses agir avec l'espoir d'alléger un rien la détresse, puisque la détresse risque de t'emporter. Juste un geste, et ce mot tout droit sorti d'un autre siècle, charité, que tu récupères en cherchant une posture pour vivre adossé à l'abîme.
Bravo. Now that you've had a taste of poetry recitation, let's start the contest. Les récitations seront notées par notre jury de poètes. Let me introduce you to the poets who are going to be judging these recitations tonight. Pour noter les récitations en français, nous avons invité 3 poètes. Éric Charlebois est poète, traducteur, animateur et artiste multidisciplinaire. Il est aussi président de l'Association des auteurs de l'Ontario français et a enseigné le français plusieurs années. Il est l'auteur de 8 recueils de poésie. Poète, romancier et essayiste Pierre Nepveux soutient le concours Les Voix de la poésie depuis ses débuts. Récipiendaire de nombreux prix et distinctions, il est également le biographe de Gaston Miron. Erika Soucy est auteure, scénariste et comédienne. Elle a fait paraître 3 recueils de poésie et un roman qui a remporté le prix de création littéraire de la Bibliothèque et du Salon du Livre du Québec. Also judging the English recitations, Liz Howard, whose debut collection, Infinite Citizen of the Shaking Tent, won the 2016 Griffin Poetry Prize. She lives and writes in Toronto. Canisia Lubrin is a writer, critic, and teacher of English at Humber College in Toronto. She's the author of Voodoo Hypothesis. Matt Rader is the author of 4 volumes of poetry, including his most recent Desecrations. He teaches creative writing at the University of British Columbia's Okanagan campus. Et maintenant, accueillons nos stars de la poésie. Let's welcome the stars of the show. Dans la section française, veuillez applaudir Jeanne Cantin, Alice Blouin-Descostes, Charlie Rivard. In the English stream, please welcome Pujita Verma, Hamish Marissen-Clark, and Gabriel Nebrida Pepin. And in the bilingual stream, dans la section bilingue, voici Brittany Huelas Briskovich, John Wood, and Olivia Torralbo. Okay, guys. So now you can see who you have to impress. Nervous? Don't be nervous. Be excited. Okay, vous pouvez retourner en coulisses maintenant. Time to go backstage, prepare. I did see some pacing and preparations going on even before we got out here tonight. I think these guys are prepared. So, let's start. We're going to begin with 2 rounds of poems in English. Then we'll have 2 rounds in French, followed by a brief intermission. Avant l'entracte, nous écouterons 2 tours de récitation en anglais, puis 2 en français. Good luck to everyone. Bonne chance à tous et toutes.
English Prize Stream, Round 1. Pujita Verma, Glen Forest Secondary School, Mississauga, Ontario.
A history of houses built out of spite, by Chimwemwe Undi. None of us know Amy personally, but she's here and she's singing, rising above our sodden heads, bowed in something like prayer, maybe. Most of us are trying to move enough to pretend. She doesn't remind us of our mothers, and Sunday morning spring cleans the sharp, bleached smell of it, the shrill peak of their voices demanding something far less beautiful. We're trying not to think of mothers who mostly whisper now, or girls who looked away and uninvited us from sleepovers even though they were smiling the whole time. Or the last time we were here, how it felt the same when we got home after. It, as in everything, the same as in worse. You gotta move sometimes when you're stuck in the middle of it. That's the philosophy we're buying into here, using drink tickets we bought at the dollar store and tucked into bras and ace bandages and sagging back pockets. You gotta move, your body a last resort, occupying unseated space, the only thing that's ever belonged to you. And half the girls here have called that into question. Girls only, because that's how you get in here just because of the girls. Because here is nowhere, and here lives the only God that thinks our wetness akin to holy water, that answers to the tense-bodied hallelujahs escaping mouths we thought had forgotten how to form them, us, broken daughters, and all our pieces jangling, all strobe light, sweat, and saxophone. When Amy died, we danced. Off the sorrow we knew our mothers would shed, split their self-satisfied smugness between us like a quarter we tucked a backbeat under, a promise of an always love, used those tickets to buy into that sacred oath in mezzo-soprano, and we moved to it, right into it, because that's what the fuck you do. Our love been a losing game, Amy. You know the power of no. No, no, even when it was the wrong thing, and we know we belong here. Maybe not everywhere, but that's what nowhere is for. And here we are, in the middle of it. Besides, it's different for us, as in everyone. Different, as in the same.
Gabrielle Nebrida Pépin, École des pionniers de Maillardville, Port Coquitlam, British Columbia.
The Cinnamon Peeler by Michael Ondaatje. If I were a cinnamon peeler, I would ride your bed and leave the yellow bark dust on your pillow. Your breasts and shoulders would reek. You can never walk through markets without the profession of my fingers floating over you. The blind would stumble, certain of whom they approach, though you might bathe under the rain gutters monsoon. Here, on the upper thigh, at this smooth pasture, neighbor to your hair, or the crease that cuts your back, this ankle. You will be known among strangers as the cinnamon peeler's wife. I could hardly glance at you before marriage, never touch you. Your keen-nosed mother, your rough brothers. I buried my hands in saffron, disguised them over smoking tar, helped the honey gatherers. When we swam once, I touched you in water, and our bodies remained free. You could hold me and be blind of smell. You climbed the bank and said, "This is how you touch other women. The grass cutter's wife, the lime burner's daughter." And you searched your arms for the missing perfume and knew, what good is it to be the lime burner's daughter? Left with no trace, as if not spoken to in the act of love, as if wounded without the pleasure of a scar. You touched your belly to my hands in the dry air and said, "I am the cinnamon peeler's wife. Smell me."
Hamish Marissen-Clark, St. George's School, Vancouver, British Columbia.
From World of Made and Unmade, Jane Mead. In my dream, my mother comes with me. We are in the meadows we call the flats, walking the dogs. Walk straight past the water trough, she says. Do not engage the moss. Go back to the top of the page, the dream says, and leave out the suicides. In my dream, I walk and walk. After a time, no mother. After a time, no dogs. Just the field of dry grasses and me and the walking. Then just the walking.
English Prize Stream, Round 2. Hamish Marissen-Clark, St. George's School, Vancouver, British Columbia.
Illegalese, floodgate dub, Wade Compton. For the Chinese Maroons, British Columbia, 1999 to 2001. If you arrive in the belly of a rusting imagination, there are grounds to outlaw you. But Canada is a remixed B-side chorus in the globalization loop. A sampled track of back home desiring, old days admiring, democracy dreaming, racism reaping homesickness that even Medicare can't cure. There is no fresh off the boat, or the plane, or the hope of consistency in foreign and foreigner policy, or obduracy of floodgate metaphors and death sentence deportations. The backbeat backbone of the chorus that screeches back home is the drum and bass treble track alliteration of comma, 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 gadamaroo. And the stowaway that the border refused will be the headstone of the corner. When the destination is a nation that prides itself as peacekeeping but is still sleeping on the justice and compassion, lacking in that back home, back home, back home, when jurisdiction cuts the earth to the bone, the proper diction is the unspoken issue, and the flesh of the people's color in the boats, in the hull, in the belly of a dream, without papers or definition, in quotations, refugee, a pen stroke from relief, languishing in the language exile of illegalese. And if it was heroic for runaway slaves to seep into Canada, why is it vilifiable for Chinese migrants to hide in the belly of a dream now? And when you want to draw the line, or put your foot down, or formulate enough is enough is enough is enough, what color is enough? What language does it speak? And isn't that the real issue written between the bordered lines, the bartered lives, in this semantic peanut and shell game? In barricaded comfort, behind armchair palisades, wielding remote control diplomacy like a wand, we cultivate our cathode curtain without détente. With children lullabied by Filipino nannies, industry is carving up the melon of our Lotus Coast. And floodgates, they say, have said, and ever shall say. But people are not a flood. Borders are not God-given. Lives are not dollars. And Canada is not the sum of its exclusions.
Pujita Verma, Glen Forest Secondary School, Mississauga, Ontario.
To the Ladies by Lady Mary Chudley. Wife and servant are the same, but only differ in the name. For when that fatal knot is tied, which nothing, nothing can divide, when she the word obey has said, and man by law supreme has made, then all that's kind is laid aside, and nothing left but state and pride. Fierce as an eastern prince, he grows, and all his innate rigor shows, then but to look, to laugh, or speak will the nuptial contract break. Like mutes she signs alone must make, and never any freedom take, but still be governed by a nod, and fear her husband as a god, and still must serve, and still obey, and nothing act, nothing say, but what her haughty lord thinks fit, who with the power has all the wit. Then shun, oh, shun that wretched state, and all the fawning flatterers hate. Value yourselves, and men despise. You must be proud if you'll be wise.
Gabrielle Nebrida Pépin, École des pionniers de Maillardville, Port Coquitlam, British Columbia.
I Lost My Talk by Rita Joe. I lost my talk. The talk you took away when I was a little girl at Chubinacadie School. You snatched it away. I speak like you. I think like you. I create like you. The scrambled ballad about my word. 2 ways I talk, both ways I say. Your way is more powerful. So, gently, I offer my hand and ask, let me find my talk so I can teach you about me.
End of the first 2 rounds of the English prize stream. Premier tour de la section française. Charlie Rivard, Cégep de Saint-Laurent, Montréal, Québec.
Je ne trouve pas toujours Louise Dupré. Je ne trouve pas toujours les phrases pour décrire la lumière accrochée au rideau de ma chambre ou les notes d'une chanson dans mon oreille. Alors, je lis des poèmes avec des images offertes comme les eaux qui courent jusqu'à la mer, car les poèmes ont une peau plus vibrante que ma peau et un cœur qui bat au rythme du paysage. Les poèmes prennent le temps de m'écouter si ma voix se mouille ou éclate d'un long rire. Les poèmes sont ma fenêtre et mon autre visage.
Jeanne Cantin, Collège François-de-Laval, Québec, Québec.
Dans la cuisine, Carole David. Dans la cuisine, ma mère recousait des ailes, rapiéçait des membres. Ma mère était une magicienne. Elle faisait des costumes, des armures avec des pattes, des pyjamas pour chiens, des abris pour les âmes. Un jour, par une chaude journée d'été, elle est disparue. Devant le barbecue, les instruments à la main, aspirés par un nuage de fumée et d'assaisonnement exotique. Et moi, assise à la table de jardin, je pressais des citrons pour la limonade, dans la cour inondée de lumière.
Alice Blouin Descostes, Collège Sainte-Anne de la Chine, Québec.
Je ne trouve pas toujours, Louise Dupré. Je ne trouve pas toujours les phrases pour décrire la lumière accrochée au rideau de ma chambre ou les notes d'une chanson dans mon oreille. Alors je lis des poèmes, avec des images offertes comme les eaux qui courent jusqu'à la mer. Car les poèmes ont une peau, plus vibrante que ma peau et un cœur qui bat au rythme du paysage. Les poèmes prennent le temps de m'écouter si ma voix se mouille ou éclate d'un long rire. Les poèmes sont ma fenêtre et mon autre visage.
Deuxième tour de la section française. Jeanne Cantin, Collège François-de-Laval, Québec, Québec.
Compagnon des Amériques, Gaston Miron. Compagnon des Amériques, Québec, ma terre amère, ma terre amande, ma patrie d'haleine dans la touffe des vents. J'ai de toi la difficile et poignante présence, avec une large blessure d'espace au front, dans une vivante agonie de roseaux au visage. Je parle avec les mots noueux de nos endurances. Nous avons soif de toutes les eaux du monde. Nous avons faim de toutes les terres du monde. Dont la liberté criée de débris d'embâcle, nos feux de position s'allument vers le large. L'aïeule prière à nos doigts, défaillante, la pauvreté luisant, comme des fers à nos chevilles. Mais cargue-moi en toi, pays, cargue-moi, et marche au rond le cœur de tes écorces tendres, marche à l'arête de tes dures plaies d'érosion, marche à tes pas réveillés des sommeils d'ornières, et marche à ta force, épissure des bras à ton sol. Mais chante, Plus haut l'amour en moi chante. Je me ferai passion de ta face. Je me ferai porteur de ton espérance. Veilleur, guetteur, coureur, à l'heure de ton avènement. Un homme de ton réquisitoire. Un homme de ta patience raboteuse et varlopeuse. Un homme de ta commisération infinie. L'homme artériel de tes gigues. Dans le poitrail effervescent de tes poudreries, dans la grande artillerie de tes couleurs d'automne, dans tes hanches de montagne, dans l'accord comète de tes plaines, dans l'artésienne vigueur de tes villes, devant toutes les litanies de chats huants qui huent dans la lune, devant toutes les compromissions en peau de vison, devant les héros de la bonne conscience, les émancipés malingres, les insectes des belles manières, devant tous les commandeurs de ton exploitation, de ta chair à pavé, de ta sueur à gage. Mais donne la main à toutes les rencontres, pays. Toi qui apparais par tous les chemins défoncés de ton histoire aux hommes debout, dans l'horizon de la justice qui te salue. Salut à toi, territoire de ma poésie. Salut les hommes et les femmes, des pères et mères de l'aventure.
Alice Blouin Descostes, Collège Sainte-Anne de la Chine, Québec.
Quand les cargos, Rose et Lycérie. Quand les cargos de sel déverseront la rue Clark dans ses caniveaux, je n'aurai plus raison de rester là, dans l'embrasure de la porte où plus personne ne s'embrasse désormais. À tous mes espoirs évidés, à mes restants de vieux siècles, je laisse mes clés. J'accroche mes patins sur le rebord de la rampe et qu'on les prenne. On sait se retourner, on ne sait pas revenir, qu'on se le tienne pour dit. J'ai très peur, c'est vrai, de l'odeur du café, des caresses du chat, de ce qu'il faudra passer sous silence pour rester actuel. Je ne suis pas d'époque. Je vous en foutrais des tours de soleil à arracher les étoiles, en faire des bijoux pour décorer les jours. J'ai la chienne de vie épileptique, chienne de douleur aux genoux mauves sous les lainages raides et le beau qui fait beau autour, jusqu'à l'écœurement. Les lumières tordent les yeux, les rentrent dans leur orbite. Ne plus voir, ne plus sentir les mailles dans l'espérance.
Charlie Rivard, Cégep de Saint-Laurent, Montréal, Québec.
Avant que tout éclate en morceaux, Diane Léger. Avant que tout éclate en morceaux, j'aimerais écrire dans ta main un tout petit poème du bout du doigt. Un tout petit poème plein de chaleur, de lait, de miel et de lumière. Un poème où tu voudras passer l'hiver. Avant que tout éclate en morceaux. Vivre écrire, regarder la rhubarbe monter en graines, la poussière recouvrir les meubles, faire le point, poursuivre, tout détruire pour tout recommencer, parce que rendu là où j'en suis, je n'aime plus tellement l'histoire anyway. Revenir échouer sur une plage loin de tout, se demander pour la 1000e fois. Jusqu'où peut-on aller trop loin?
Fin des 2 premiers tours de la section française.
Magnifique, right? Bravo encore. It is intermission, as you can see from the slide, but before we take a little break, I want to introduce you to a few special guests who are with us in the theater tonight. For students and teachers invited to Nationals, this has been a 3-day festival of poetry. There's been writing workshops, a poetry scavenger hunt, a cabaret later tonight, all organized by the following poets. And please stand when I say your name. Catherine Cormier-Larose, Catherine Poulain, Stuart Ross, Hector Ruiz, Adam Saul, Chimwemwe Undi, and Phoebe Wang. We're also fortunate to have in attendance many of last year's Governor General's Poetry Prize finalists. Please stand when I say your names. Lorna Crozier, Jean-Marc Dejean, Benjamin Hertwig, Annie Lafleur, Judy Quinn, and Serge Patrice Thibaudot. Merci pour les merveilleux recueils de la poésie à travers lesquels vous avez enrichi la littérature canadienne. You can find books by all the poets that mentioned tonight out in the lobby, which I now ask you to visit. We will get back here in about 15 minutes, at which point our bilingual competitors will take to the stage. See you in just a few. Hello, hello, welcome back. Let's talk about our other performers on the stage tonight. Can we please get a round of applause? That's the Jeremy Warden Trio, if you need to book them for your next event. All right, back to the show. We're now going to hear from our 3 competitors in the bilingual stream. We're sort of taking the general impressiveness of these young people up to an even higher notch, right? Chacun de nos concurrents bilingues va maintenant reciter un poème en français et un poème en anglais. Très impressionnant.
Premier tour de la section bilingue. Bilingual Prize Stream, Round 1. Brittany Huelas Bruskiewicz, École des pionniers de Maillardville, Port Coquitlam, British Columbia.
Opus 75, Sistina in B-flat for the Glockenspiel by Adam Saul. In the empty classroom at sunrise, a girl sits on the floor staring at a Glockenspiel. She's shredding the cuticles on her left hand instead of starting a practice. She doesn't want to play, not yet, if ever. The irritating sound of her teeth clicking is the only sound in the band room. The cranky girl has been dropped off early so she can play a bit alone on the Glockenspiel before her classmates come to practice. Instrument cases clutched in their chapped hands like luggage. They have such sure hands, she thinks, and she can hear the sounds they make
the laughter in the practice rooms that make her feel like a little girl. She is a late bloomer, and like the glockenspiel, she is awkward at the games they play. Only, it isn't really play, is it? It's life. The boys put their hands on the girls who vibrate like glockenspiels with tinkling notes that sound shrill and artificial to the girl. But isn't this how it's always been practiced? And wouldn't she appreciate it more if she practiced? The ones who are good at it, think of it as play. That's what they think it means to be a girl. But that's not me. I have ugly hands. I don't know how to make the giggly sounds they expect from me, except on the glockenspiel. And what's the point of a glockenspiel if I can't even concentrate and practice? For some, it's music. For others, only sounds. Now here come my bandmates, ready to play, and all I've done is chew my hands into bleeding mallets. I'm more stick than girl. Practice begins, and it's time for the girl to hoist her glockenspiel and exercise her hands. Her imperfect self is on display. How does she sound?
John Wood, Toronto French School, Toronto, Ontario.
My Meadow, My Twilight, Carl Phillips. Sure, there's a spell the leaves can make shuddering, and in their lying suddenly still again, flat and still, like time itself when it seems unexpectedly more available. More to lose, therefore, more to love, or try to. But to look up from the leaves, remember, is a choice also. As if up from the shame of it all, the promiscuity, the seeing how nothing now will save you. Up to the wind-stripped branches, shadow signing the ground before you the way, lately. All the branches seem to. Or you like to say they do, which is at least half of the way, isn't it? Toward belief. Whatever, in the end, belief is. You can look up. Or you can close the eyes entirely, making some of the world, for a moment, go away. But only some of it. Not the part about hurting others as the one good answer to being hurt. And not the part that can at first seem, understandably, a life in ruins. Even if refusing ruin because you can refuse, you look again down the steep corridor of what's just another late winter afternoon. Dark as night already. dark the leaves and darker still the door, that each night you keep meaning to find it again, having lost it, yet only to touch it just once, and it bloomed wide open.
Olivia Torralbo, Sacred Heart School of Montreal, Montreal, Quebec.
Wolf Lake by Elizabeth Baczynski. It was down that road he brought me, still in the trunk of his car. I won't say it felt right, but it did feel expected. The way you know your blood can spring like a hydrant. That September, the horseflies were murder in the valley. I'd come home to visit the family, getting a couple of weeks of free food, hooked up with a guy I'd known when I was a kid, and things went bad. When he cut me, I remember looking down, my blood surprising as paper snakes leaping from a tin. He danced me around his basement apartment, dumped me on the Chesterfield, sat down beside me, and lit a smoke. He seemed a black bear in the gloam, shoulders rounded under his clothes. So I tried to remember everything I knew about black bears. Whistle while you walk. Carry bells. If you don't bother them, they won't bother you. Play dead. Everything slowed. I'll tell you a secret. It's hard to kill a girl. You've got to cut her bad, and you've got to cut her right, and the boy had done neither. Pain rose along the side of my body like light. I lay very still while he smoked beside me. This boy I camped with every summer since we were 12. The lake so quiet, you could hear the sound of a heron skim the water at dusk, or the sound of a boy's breathing. I came to in the trunk of his car, gravel kicking up against the frame, dust coming in through the cracks. It was dark. I was thirsty. I couldn't move my hands or legs. The pain was still around. I think I was tied. We drove that way for a long time before the Chrysler finally slowed, then stopped. Sound of gravel crunching under tires. I could smell the lake, a place where as kids we'd come to swim and know we'd never be seen. Logs grew up from that lake bed. All those black bones rising from black water. I remember we'd always smelled of lake water and of sex by the end of the day. And there was a tape of Patsy Cline we always liked to sing to on our way out, which is what I thought we'd be doing that September afternoon. That, or smoking up in his garage. You know, you hear about the body all the time. They found the body. The body was found. And then You are one. Someone once told me the place had been a valley before the dam, before the town, but that was a long time ago. When the engine stopped, I heard the silver sound of keys in the lock, and then I was up on his shoulders, tasting blood. I think he said my name. I think he walked toward the woods.
Deuxième tour de la section bilingue. John Wood, Toronto French School, Toronto, Ontario.
Accompagnement d'Hector de Saint-Denis-Garneau. Je marche à côté d'une joie qui n'est pas à moi, d'une joie à moi que je ne puis pas prendre. Je marche à côté de moi en joie. J'entends mon pas en joie qui marche à côté de moi. Mais je ne puis changer de place sur le trottoir. Je ne puis pas mettre mes pieds dans ces pas-là et dire « Voilà, c'est moi ». Je me contente pour le moment de cette compagnie, mais je machine en secret des échanges par toutes sortes d'opérations, des alchimies, par des transfusions de sang, des déménagements d'atomes, par des jeux d'équilibre, afin qu'un jour, transposé, je sois porté par la danse de ces pas de joie, avec le bruit décroissant de mon pas à côté de moi, avec la perte de mon pas perdu, s'étiolant à ma gauche, sous les pieds d'un étranger qui prend une rue transversale.
Olivia Torralbo, The Sacred Heart School of Montreal, Montréal, Québec.
Beauté formale de Chloé Savoie-Bernard. Une réceptionniste, 2 fois une infirmière, un membre du personnel soignant, et même la médecin, alors qu'elle avait les mains dans mon sexe, me défaisant de ma grossesse. Chaque fois, elles m'ont dit « Tu es belle ». La jolie mademoiselle ritournelle, ma beauté. Cœur grec, qu'annoncez-vous? Ma beauté, gun qui shine, retournée contre ma tempe, alors vraiment, je suis belle. Grand bien m'en fasse, ça me fait une belle jambe, les chevilles coincées. Dans les étriers, un bébé mort en petits morceaux. Entre les jambes tombe-t-il, qui le rattrape? Je suis belle, le nez qui coule, les yeux qui braillent, il meurt. Je suis belle. Est-ce que cela m'absout? Est-ce que cela me sauve? Cette beauté.
Brittany Wellas Bruskiewicz, École des pionniers de Maillardville, Port Coquitlam, Colombie-Britannique.
C'est la guerre de Louis-Philippe Hébert. C'est la guerre, c'est très excitant. La terre s'ouvre, on peut voir dedans. On peut voir ce qui se passe derrière les portes closes, l'âme qui loge dans le ventre, la cuisine dans les logements, les latrines qui explosent derrière les baraquements. On aperçoit des choses dans le ciel, des choses rondes et lumineuses qu'on n'avait jamais vues auparavant. Ça laisse des traces longtemps, ça éclate, on dirait des applaudissements qui jaillissent autour de nous, derrière nous. Ça surprend. On comprend que tout n'est qu'un mouvement. On le sent sur la peau, sur tout le corps, sur les tympans, dans les narines aussi une odeur de sang qui nous fait penser à ce qui se passe à l'intérieur de nous, à cette espèce d'entortillement, de tripes, de foie, d'estomac, de cœur avec ses veines et ses artères, même de pancréas. C'est la guerre dehors comme en dedans. C'est la guerre maintenant. Les prières ne sont plus exaucées dorénavant. Attachez-moi les mains, videz-moi le ventre, coupez-moi la tête si vous voulez qu'on le réveille celui-là. Que celui qui a le plus long sabre lui tranche la gorge. Coupe le cou, coupe. Maintenant.
Fin des 2 tours de la section bilingue. Fin des 2 tours de la section bilingue.
Okay, that's impressive, right? It's all impressive, but I mean, conjuring that much passion and beautiful delivery in not one but both of this country's official languages, that's a pretty cool thing to see. Okay, on reprend avec les sections françaises et anglaises, back to the French and English streams. So there's 6 more recitations, and then we'll crown some 2018 champions.
Troisième tour de la section française. Alice Blouin d'Écoste, Collège Sainte-Anne de la Chine, Québec.
Si j'embrasse, baron Marc-André Lévesque. L'instinct maternel n'est pas particulièrement développé chez les reptiles. Archicard, les reptiles, page 132. Contre douce et volcanes, je m'efface. Contre plans et ratés, je m'efface ou m'enfarce. Contre la nature affamée et la rue des torrents. Contre facture du temps qui monte, je m'efface. De tout mon long, j'ai faim. De tout mon dragon d'être amer de vue. Je suis bête rare. Je suis porc pas tant atteint. Je n'ai rien eu, mais j'ai perdu pareil. Je suis le braille du feu que personne n'entend. Je pourrais m'échouer. Épave en palais d'os, je pourrais mourir des souffles dans le plus grand des bruits monstrailles avec des vagues là, en semets fulgures. Je pourrais étendre mes entrailles, m'éparpiller le sang-froid, tout chacun et sa peut-être mère s'emboucaneraient. Je refuse. On ne peut pas m'avoir abandonné à même mon œuf, je refuse. Lutte en rafale, lutte en amont, lutte prise de bec, soli-lutte. Si je me fais mourir, traite-le. Si je me brûle de, et par, et pour le moi-même, si j'embrasse le décès, je ne saurai jamais le pourquoi de moi, ni le si de ma mère si j'embrasse. Ça finit de même.
Charlie Rivard, Cégep de Saint-Laurent, Montréal, Québec.
Beauté fort molle, Chloé Savoie-Bernard. Une réceptionniste 2 fois, une infirmière, un membre du personnel soignant et même la médecin, alors qu'elle avait les mains dans mon sexe me défaisant de ma grossesse. Chaque fois, elles m'ont dit « Tu es belle ». La jolie mademoiselle, ritournelle ma beauté, cœur grec, qu'annoncez-vous? Ma beauté gonne qui chaîne retournée contre ma tempe, alors vraiment, je suis belle. Grand bien m'en fasse. Ça me fait une belle jambe, les chevilles coincées dans les étriers. Un bébé mort en petits morceaux entre les jambes tombe-t-il? Qui le rattrape? Je suis belle, le nez qui coule, les yeux qui braillent, il meurt, je suis belle. Est-ce que cela m'absout? Est-ce que cela me sauve? Cette beauté.
Jeanne Cantin, Collège François-de-Laval, Québec, Québec.
Au centre de notre vie, je gravite, non encore né, non encore formé, Pierre Morancy. Un jour, j'aurai des mains. Le même jour, je commencerai d'avoir un cœur. Mon amour aura des mains pour te donner ce que je suis. Mon amour aura des mains. Au bout de mes mains, je te prendrai au plus chaud de ta vie. Je te ravirai pour battre la campagne au fond de nous. J'aurai des mains pour la chaleur et pour la nuit. J'aurai des mains pour que le jour éclaire dans ton sang. J'aurai des mains pour te construire. J'aurai des mains pour blesser la bête maudite, tapie sous le front de l'amour. J'aurai des mains pour me traîner dans ton corps. J'aurai des mains pour te cueillir où tu t'affales. J'aurai des mains pour l'appui quand tu cantes de peur. Un jour, j'aurai des mains. J'aurai des mains pour t'appeler quand je coule. J'aurai des mains pour te vouloir quand je pars de moi. J'aurai des mains pour défoncer quand tu cesses d'ouvrir. J'aurai des mains pour faire signe quand le paysage devient fou. Mes mains seront des ponts pour que tu passes en moi. Un jour, j'aurai des mains. Ce jour-là, le monde s'affaissera dans les fêlures. Ce jour-là, des femmes et des enfants seront bus par la mort. Ce jour-là, des hommes moisiront sous la gale. Un lit de boue noirci durcira la paix. Mais ce jour-là, j'aurai des mains. J'aurai des mains pour me relever dans la savane. J'aurai des mains pour cravacher ma bête de flamme. J'aurai des mains pour refaire la boussole. J'aurai des mains pour casser les murs qui te retiennent. J'aurai des mains pour gratter à chaque seuil comme un chien. J'aurai des mains pour arriver jusqu'à toi. Puis, j'aurai des mains. Enfin, j'aurai des mains pour que crèvent les os et que je vienne au monde.
Fin du dernier tour de la section française. English Prize Stream, Round 3. Gabrielle Nebrida Pépin, École des pionniers de Maillardville, Port Coquitlam, British Columbia.
Annabel Lee by Edgar Allan Poe. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabel Lee. And this maiden, she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. I was a child, and she was a child in this kingdom by the sea, but we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabel Lee. With a love that the winged seraphs of heaven coveted her and me. And this was the reason that, long ago in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabel Lee, so that her highborn kinsmen came and bore her away from me, to shut her up in a sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea. The angels, not half so happy in heaven, went envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason. As all men know in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of the cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. But our love It was stronger, by far, than the love of those who were older than we, of many far wiser than we. And neither the angels in heaven above, nor the demons down under the sea, can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And the stars never rise, but I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And so all the night tide, I lie down by the side of my darling, my life and my bride, in her sepulchre there by the sea, in her tomb by the sounding sea.
Hamish Marissen-Clark, St. George's School, Vancouver, British Columbia.
Piling blood, Al Purdy. It was powdered blood in heavy brown paper bags, supposed to be strong enough to prevent the stuff from escaping, but didn't. We piled it 10 feet high, right to the shed roof, working at aerotransfer on Grande Island. The bags weighed 75 pounds, and you had to stand on 2 of the bags to pile the top rows. I was 6 feet 3 inches, and needed all of it. I forgot to say, the blood was cattle blood. Horses, sheep, and cows, to be used for fertilizer, the foreman said. It was a matter of some delicacy to plop the bags down softly, as if you were piling dynamite. If you weren't gentle, the stuff would belly out from bags in brown clouds, settle on your sweating face, cover hands and arms, enter ears and nose, seep inside pants and shirt, reverting back to liquid blood, and you looked like you'd been scalped by a tribe of particularly unfriendly Indians and forgot to die. We piled glass as well. It came in wooden crates, 2 of us hoiking them off trucks into warehouses, every crate weighing 200 pounds. By late afternoon, my muscles would twitch and throb in a death-like rhythm from hundreds of bags of blood and hundreds of crates of glass. Then, at Burns Slaughterhouse on East Hastings Street, I got a job part-time, shouldering sides of frozen beef, hoisting it from steel hooks, staggering to and from the refrigerated trucks and eerie freezing rooms. With breath, a white vapor among the dangling corpses, and the sound of bawling animals screeched down from an upper floor with their throats cut and blood gurgling into special drains for later retrieval. And the blood smell clung to me, clung to clothes and body, sickly and sweet. And I heard the screams of dying cattle. And I wrote no poems. There were no poems to exclude the screams which boarded the streetcar and traveled with me till I reached home, turned on the record player, and faintly, in the last century, heard Beethoven weeping.
Pujita Verma, Glen Forest Secondary School, Mississauga, Ontario.
I Am Graffiti by Leanne Simpson. I am writing to tell you that yes, indeed, we have noticed you have a new, big, pink eraser. We are well aware you are trying to use it. Erasing Indians is a good idea, of course. The bleeding heart liberals and communists can stop feeling bad for the stealing and raping and murdering. And we can all move on. We can be reconciled. Except I am graffiti. Except mistakes were made. She painted 3 white X's on the wall of the grocery store. 1, 2, 3. Then they were erased. Except I am graffiti. Except mistakes were made. The X's were made out of milk because they took our food. 1, 2, 3. Then we were erased. Except I am graffiti. Except mistakes were made. We are the singing remnants left over after the bomb went off in slow motion over a century instead of a fractionated second. It's too much to process, so we make things instead. We are the singing remnants left over after the costumes have been made, collected up, put in a plastic bag full of intentions for another time, another project. Except I am graffiti, and mistakes were made.
End of the English Prize Stream recitations.
No? All right. This has been an amazing night. And of course, now it comes down to making some decisions. Tous les concurrents recevront un prix, mais on comprend facilement que chacun d'entre eux aimerait se voir décerner le premier prix. So, tabulators. Have we given you enough time? Do we have the results? Somebody, aha, there we go. Thank you. Okay, so I got the winners here, the results, I should say. I'm going to ask Scott and Christine Griffin on stage to help me announce these. All right. Je commence avec la section bilingue. Je vais demander à nos 3 concurrents de la section bilingue de venir me rejoindre sur scène. All right. In third place, drum roll please. We have drums, let's do this. John Wood, Toronto French School in Toronto. En deuxième position, Olivia Torralbo, the Sacred Heart School of Montreal. Et le Grand Prix de récitation bilingue est décerné à Brittany Huelas-Broskovic. Bravo! Bravo tous les 3, vos récitations étaient vraiment remarquables. Et maintenant, je vais demander à tous nos 3 finalistes de la section française de revenir sur scène ensemble. Dans la section française, le 3e prix est décerné à Alice Bloin-Descostes, Collège Sainte-Anne de la Chine. En 2e position, Jeanne Cantin, Collège français de Laval. Et le Grand Prix de récitation en français est décerné à Charlie Rivard, Cégep de Saint-Laurent. Félicitations! Quelle excellente récitation! And let's ask our 3 English Prize Stream finalists back onto the stage, please. Third place for the English Prize goes to Pujita Verma, Glen Forest Secondary School in Mississauga. Second place for the English prize goes to Gabrielle Nabrida Pepin, École des Pionniers de Marieville-Port-Coquitlam. First prize goes to Hamish, Marissen-Clark from St. George's. What an incredible evening. These 9 remarkable students have moved us all tonight, I think I can safely say, speak for everybody. Among the top 24 student reciters in all of Canada were invited to compete in these national finals. So let's get everybody back on the stage, and all the students who competed yesterday. I want to acknowledge them for the tremendous work. Big applause. Come, you guys. The 2018 Poetry and Voice National Finalists. Bravo! And to wrap things up tonight, I hand the podium over for a few final words from Scott and Christine Griffin.
Thank you, Jill, and good evening, everyone. What a fantastic evening this has been, I must say. The recitations have been at a higher standard each year, and this year's no exception. So, félicitations aux étudiantes et étudiants. Now, with your permission, I would like to take 2 minutes to say why I believe this initiative, poetry initiative, is so important. Poetry and voice, les voix de la poésie. In Canada, we have a lot of poets writing poetry, good poetry, poetry that measures up to the standards of almost every country. But what we don't have in Canada, compared to other countries, is a really robust readership. There are not a lot of people buying poetry books, not a lot of people reading poetry, and almost nobody reciting it. And that's why this poetry and voice, or les voix de la poésie, is so important. We have over 1,000 schools now participating in this program in every province across Canada. And last year we had 1.2 million poems, we estimate, memorized in the program. And this is year by year creating a readership for poetry, which is critical. Poets need an audience, and poetry cannot possibly exist in a vacuum. This has been recognized also by the Canada Council, who has supported us, for which we are immensely grateful. So what do the students get out of this? Well, first of all, students are exposed to the beauty of language through poetry, a treasure that will remain with them for the rest of their life. And in addition, students gain a sense of confidence by being able to stand up here on stage with only a microphone, no notes, and recite poetry in front of judges and a paid audience. This is something that would put the fear of God in most adults. And yes, they are very nervous before they come out on stage, but once they've done it, they've gained the confidence that will last a lifetime. So I believe that this initiative is one of the most important in the literary scene in terms of what it's doing for poets, poetry, and for Canada. Now, before... So, to close the evening, I'm going to ask Christine to come up and thank everybody who's made it possible. So, Christine.
I think I'm very proud to be Scott's wife. He's an inspiration for 40 years. Anyway, je suis là pour vous remercier the audience, first of all, for coming tonight and supporting us. We all need audiences. Mais particulièrement aux étudiants que nous avaient créé cette soirée, et les enseignants, the teachers that accompanied you, les parents qui vous ont sûrement aidé. Je voudrais aussi remercier les juges. Je crois qu'on en a eu 47 ou quelque chose comme ça pour le programme dans le programme entier. Je voudrais particulièrement remercier les deux poètes qui ont créé les anthologies. Il y a 500 poèmes en français, 500 poems in English, were edited by Damien Rogers et par Pierre Neveu depuis les 7 ans que nous existons. Merci. Et puis voilà, et remercier le trio de Jeremy Warden. et terminer to conclude the team that works all year round under the leadership of David Smith. But we started with Sepide Anvar, who created l'élan of this poetry prize together with Scott. She always understood what it meant to have a multilingual poetry in this country. We thank them all.
That's it?